Thank you for joining us. I'm Christina Santiago, and you're watching The Magic of Giving. Now that we know the history, goals, and programs provided by the Second Harvest Food Bank of Central Florida, it's time to discuss the needs of the organization and the opportunities for the community to contribute. My guests today are Greg Higgerson, Vice President of Development, Second Harvest Food Bank, and Jim Schreiber, Chairman, the Board of Directors. Thank you, gentlemen, for joining us today on this segment. So how can someone get involved through the mission of the food bank?
There's really three ways that I'd mention, Christina, to get involved. And that would be food, donating money, or donating time. It's still the case that about 10% of our total food volumes comes from neighbors who are donating food through food drives. And so that's the logical and obvious way. But more importantly, I'd say, financial donations. We rely on that. We're a very efficient organization. Over 97% of every dollar that gets donated actually goes directly to feeding hungry people in Central Florida. And then lastly, the time. We couldn't operate without the thousands of volunteers who donate tens of thousands of hours every year to help us keep the operation running, from working in our warehouse or the office, helping organize food drives, out in the fields gleaning produce. There are many ways for everyone from high school students through corporate organizations to participate. And you know, there's really a fourth way that someone can get involved, and that's by becoming an informed community advocate. Get knowledgeable about the fact that there is a hunger problem here in Central Florida, and then decide that that is unacceptable, and then do something about it. Be out there in the community advocating for making Central Florida a food secure environment for everyone.
Okay. Now let's go back to your point about needing volunteers and financial donations. Okay. So if somebody wanted to donate to your organization, what would they need to do? Or how can they do it? Do you have a website? Can they call, make a donation?
Greg's the man for that.
Can you send in a...
Tell them all the ways we
Certainly,
can do this.
yeah. It's in really all the different ways that you can think of. If you're inclined to give online, there's certainly a way to do that. If you prefer to give through the mail, attend a special event, you can do that. For those who are able to and are really committed to helping make a great difference in ending hunger. There are even planned giving options, by remembering the food bank in your will, other types of
planned
giving. That is planned giving, yeah, through bequests and so forth. So lots of ways to do it, and it doesn't matter whether you're a child that saved his birthday money and gave it, or somebody who has an ability to give it at a much higher level. It all makes a difference, and as Jim says, we can take a dollar and turn it into $9 worth of groceries because of the efficiency of what we do, and so it really is a great way to sort of multiply that generosity.
Yeah.
And back to the point you made about volunteers. So if someone in the audience wants to, one of our viewers, if they want to volunteer, I mean, can they pick up the phone and call, or go onto a website and sign up? How do they become a volunteer?
The very easiest way is to go to our website, and that's feedhopenow.org. And right on the front page, there's a volunteer button, and yet they can check out the kinds of volunteer jobs that are available, the dates that we have available on a calendar, and they can actually even sign up and schedule themselves for a session to come down and help.
Now, can families volunteer together?
Absolutely.
Any way they'd like to do it. We've had groups of school kids in, families, corporate organizations, other private organizations that just want to get in there and, make a difference. And we welcome them all.
And what is the age limit for children?
Well, typically it's been 10 and up for children, but now in our new 100,000 square foot facility in Orlando, we actually have the ability to work with kids as young as 5. And we have a family night where kids that young can come in. We don't get a tremendous amount of work accomplished, but it's a lot of fun. It exposes them to the idea that it's important to give to other people. It's part of what these parents are trying to teach. And of course, they do accomplish some things while they're there.
Yeah, it's great.
Feeding America. Let's talk a little bit about that. What is that?
Sure. Feeding America is the largest domestic hunger relief organization in America. It is a network of 205 food banks like ours at Second Harvest across the country that are that hub for collecting and distributing food in their communities. In the network, our food bank in Central Florida is probably 15th or 16th on that list in terms of the size and scope of our operation. There's a large handful bigger than we are, and certainly many smaller across the country. But the real value of being a partner in that network is that when companies give food, especially the large manufacturers, if you can imagine a Kraft or Nabisco or an organization like that, sometimes they have 1 million boxes of something to donate. And rather than deal with 205 food banks across the country individually, they would rather give to one source that they trust and that they know exactly what's going to happen to that food no matter where it lands in the United States. It's going to be treated exactly the same way according to the same set of standards and operational guidelines, food safety guidelines, all of that right down to the end user, so that these corporate donors know that their tax deduction is protected. They are protected in a large way from a food safety standpoint, which they're all concerned about. Profit and food safety are what most corporate food companies are most concerned with. And then, of course, one of the real powerful aspects of being part of that network is that we are tied in a communications way with all of those 205 other food banks. So there's a lot of best practices sharing that happens. There's a lot of opportunities that arise at the national level when a big corporate sponsor like a Walmart or ConAgra or somebody like that steps up with millions of dollars that they're then able to grant to the food banks across the country. Those things really make a big difference here in Central Florida, and so it's a powerful network. The other really powerful part of that is that if there's ever a disaster, a really bad disaster here in Central Florida, we have the collective power of all of those other food banks across the United States poised and ready to pour resources into this state in a very short period of time afterwards. And we certainly saw that back in 2004. When we had the hurricanes come through Central Florida, and in Hurricane Katrina in Louisiana, and many other examples across the country. But in a disaster relief situation, it's a really efficient model.
Okay. Well, thank you for sharing that. And before we wrap this segment up, I want you to share with the viewers at home. You guys belong to social media. Do you have an Instagram page, a Facebook page? If you could talk a little bit about that,
We're
just
very
so our
active in
viewers
social media.
know.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah,
okay.
absolutely.
Start with our website, but from there.
It's a great way to stay plugged in with us. Find us on Facebook, like us on Facebook, follow our Twitter account. We put interesting things, not only about events and other things that we're doing, but just about the people we're serving and about the issue itself. And a lot of people like to stay plugged in that way, and it's easy to do.
Okay, so you're on Facebook, Instagram. What about YouTube? Do you have a...
We have a whole channel on YouTube with videos that talk about various aspects of our work. So you got to search by Second Harvest Food Bank of Central Florida to make sure that you're looking at our stuff.
And you guys definitely have a website, all-inclusive, with a calendar
Absolutely.
and everything else.
Yes.
Yep, feedhopenow.org. That's the place to go.
feedhopenow.org. Well, thank you, gentlemen, for joining us on this segment.
Thank you.
And we really appreciate you, and I know that the community appreciates all that you do for our community. So thank you again.
Thanks so much.
Thank you to all you viewers for watching, and to find out more about how to become involved with the Second Harvest Food Bank of Central Florida, please go to feedhopenow.org or call 407-295-1066. Let's all become part of the magic. I'm Christina Santiago. See you next time on The Magic of Giving. Thank you guys for being here. You guys did awesome.